Okay, so today's sketch by Shimelle is going to be very different because I somehow managed to corrupt my video footage of my process, and kind of the unfortunate thing with this type of industry YouTube channel, I can't recreate stuff. So we're going to do a bit of a layout share today. So this is the sketch. Now, this is so cool. I don't know if you are someone who just watches, if you are someone who's new to Shimelle sketches, number one, or two, you've only ever watched the YouTube videos. I found 2 sketches on her website that do not have videos. So this sketch this week and next week's sketch might be a bit new to you, but I have the blog links down below so you can go on and print the sketch out. Now, when I printed out this sketch and looked at it, I went, oh dear, because remember last week or 2 weeks ago when there was that other sketch with the 4x6 and the title page, and I turned the title into a large piece, I kind of looked at this and went, oh wait, this is kind of like exactly what I did a week or 2 ago with the other sketch, but I turned it around, right? So I thought, okay, let's turn this sketch around. And so I turned it around 180 degrees. So my photos are here, and this is what I have. So for choosing products, I am using, this is all Cocoa Vanilla Studio. Do you hear how like I blurbed that up? This is Cocoa Vanilla Studio Wild at Heart, and I chose this particular line because I just had a wee little bit of it. I literally, like, this background is my last 12 by 12 paper, and now it's really just scraps. But I was super excited because I got to use all of these little bits and pieces of scrap paper, and I love my Cocoa Vanilla Studio, so I was super excited to be able to use like the last little bits of everything. So this is Wild at Heart. I believe that this was part of a click kit because it had these letters in there. Like, there was some stuff in the kit that wasn't the Cocoa Vanilla Studio, and it makes me think that it was a click kit at one time, but it has been decimated now. So I used little strips and scraps of paper. I fussy cut these adorable butterflies, pop dotted up a couple of things, dated it. This is interesting. I dated it right here in really light gray ink, so it's a little hard to see on photographs, but it's there. I can read it, and that's totally fine. I did use Hickory Smoke distress ink on all of my edges, and I have 2 3x4 photos, and then I only had big enamel dots left. So what I did was instead of trying to cluster them together, I mixed them in with the butterflies and created like lines of enamel dots that your eye can kind of follow. So instead of doing a triangle with the multiple size dots, which is what I usually tend to want to do, I went ahead and did it this way so that I could use some of these larger enamel dots. So if you're someone who always ends up with the big enamel dots, this is kind of a nice way to use them so they don't seem crazy overwhelming. And that is, instead of creating a cluster with them, create a line that your eye can follow. 2 flare badges, because I somehow ended up not using any of the flare badges. I had all of them still in the package, so I wanted to use up those. And then what I did was, when I was finished with this layout, I had no more 12 by 12 papers. And the fabulous thing about Cocoa Vanilla is that their lines tend to kind of be like, you can take a line and mix it with, there's usually a line that is released close to it that kind of mixes in with it. So this is Wild at Heart, but I also have Bohemian Dream, which is all the same colors. So I took those scraps from Wild at Heart, mixed them in with Bohemian Dream, and now I have more Cocoa Vanilla to play with. So that was my plan. I think the only other thing I can tell you for sure is I made these little scalloped. I used a punch. This punch is an old Close to My Heart punch, or not Close to My Heart, Creative Memories. And it makes like this little flower shape, and you can do the flower shape as just a flower, or you can do it with the little dots, the little punches. So I created them with the little punches and used 3 of them, and I cut them from a scrap of paper just to add a little bit of color and design behind and to these 3 areas of embellishments. So that's my layout. And hopefully, well, yes, definitely. Next week we'll have another sketch that's new, that well, not new, but that maybe isn't as like when I looked up this one on Pinterest, it just wasn't there. So because it doesn't have a video, it just isn't a blog post. It might be one that you've never seen before, and that would be this week and possibly next week too. Oh, definitely next week. I don't remember if the one that I have saved for the 27th has a video or not. We'll see. But I'm having so much fun because when you go through Shimelle's blog, like I find like these little treasures of sketches I didn't know were there. So that's interesting and fun. So, okay. I am sorry for the technical difficulty, but at the same time, I didn't want to not post a video. I didn't want to not show you my layout that I created. And so I hope that you enjoyed this layout share. There will be videos or pictures at the end of this with close-ups. And if you have any questions, if there's anything on my layout that you are wondering about, that because I don't have a process, that you're like, hey, what'd she do there? Just leave me a question below and I will absolutely get back to you and answer. Okay, I'll see you all again later. Bye.